So while not some Nintendo 64 news has been breaking lately and not great, it's been a wonderful time for all things Commodore. And just things breaking all over the place. Of course, the awesome ownership now of by Retro Recipes, Christian, now having control as the Uber CEO of Commodore. Uh, Amazing things are going to come, and amazing things already come out with the Commodore 64 with all the cool light up stuff and all that good stuff. Um, there's rumblings of Amiga out there and as well, so that's really exciting. And then just to get a little extra fun stuff. Now there's formerly the CD32 Mini, now I guess called the CDX32, EX32. We're going to get basically a mini CD32 that will play original CD32 games, which I have none of, by the way, as well as take things off a USB, the ROMs, the .LHA and ADF formats, I think. So um, so yet another mini console that I feel kind of obligated to get. So what are your thoughts on was the Amiga sold around 5 million copies, or 5 million units, I should say, which is respectable, certainly. The CD 32 came out in 93. Commodore went bankrupt in 94. So the 125,000 units or so. So not a huge market penetration uh, for it at all. So did you have awareness of the CD32? We've talked about it, I know, a little bit before. We don't remember kind of if you even knew it was out there.
So yeah, I did, but not in like I never knew anyone who had it. I knew a lot of people who had C64s. Didn't know anyone personally who had an Amiga at the time. The CD32 I only knew of because of reading computer game magazines. There would be mentions of it in there, but that's all I knew of it.
Yeah, and a lot of the CD32, I mean, I think part of it was, I mean, they didn't go all in on it being a gaming console, which maybe would have helped them with the other emerging gaming consoles. So it was kind of this middle ground of, yeah, it's a gaming console, but it's also the start of your very own Amiga computer, and you start to add a keyboard and other things to it, and voila, you've got an Amiga as well. And I think that kind of people not knowing what it was probably didn't help it, and I don't know, Commodore going bankrupt probably didn't help it a whole lot either. So
Yeah,
that
I
was
think it had a lot going against it, and especially, I mean, to your point, there was a few attempts at doing these sort of like consoleized PCs. And I think the problem with that is just like you were saying, at some point, if you really want to use the library, you're going to add a keyboard and add this and add that, and then it's a PC again.
Yeah, that's not really form factored up great to be a PC anymore because it's kind of a
Yeah,
gaming console setup, and so it's a clunky gaming console, it's a clunky computer, so it's not a great niche to come out, but it looks cool. Like I said, it does open the door for me to go to that. I mean, I haven't really seen much of a CD32 market on DK Oldies, but I can take a look a little bit. But there'll be some places that I can get some original CD32 games. So I think it would be super cool to actually play them actually off of the CD. So I think that would be pretty cool. And then as long as the price comes in right, I will add to my army of minis as well. So
does
uh,
this says skip it listed buy it for you?
yeah, I think we'll do that. It's a buy it. It's a buy it for me. I'll be doing it pretty much. I mean, they can even probably price themselves a little bit out of the market, and I'm still buying it because I think it'll be pretty cool. What's going on here now is if an Amiga Mini comes out, that's not going to be an automatic buy it for me because I'm holding out for the full size Amiga coming out with HDMI and all that.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that because Retro Games, who did the A500 Mini, which you have, has now announced their own full-sized Amiga.
Good to have choices. So that'd be pretty great. So yeah, it's a buy it for me, 100%, because want to do that. And I don't think that Retro Recipes want to provide all sorts of support into the new Commodore, but I don't think they're going to be tilling the CD32 soil anytime soon. So I think I'm safe to kind of venture off the beaten path for that. So I'll do that. So how about you, sir? Where are you at on skip it, listed buy it for the CDX32?
So you bring up a really great point. They have said that they're interested in Amiga stuff. However, that's probably a little further down the line. Obviously, C64 is their priority, which makes sense. That was Commodore's most successful computer at one point. I don't know if it still holds the record, but at one point it was the best-selling home computer. I love Commodore 64. There's still a huge base for it, not just people use it, but stuff that's still being made for it, developed for it, from companies as big as Netflix to me typing something out that's not good enough for Kelly. So, and everything in between of that. So there's just so much for it that it makes sense that that's their focus. And they said, yeah, they want to move on to Amiga, and I'm sure they will. But obviously, that's going to be somewhere further down the line. And then the kind of failed, weird cousin of it is probably not the priority for them. So that actually makes this way more interesting to me because I do like the idea of the CD32. There is games for it that I really like. You kind of introduced me to Amiga. Again, I knew Amiga existed, but didn't know anything about it. I was a C64 guy. I do think it's interesting that we're going to have options now for Amiga as well because the A500's out there. They're doing a full size version of the A500 now with a working keyboard and everything. You have the company Commodore, which is now owned by Retro Recipes, at some point doing something with Amiga. And Retro Games is not going to stop what they're doing. So they're re-releasing the C64 mini in an all black version with more current games and software on there. So I mean, it's just if you're a Commodore fan, there's a lot
A lot of good
happening
stuff
right
coming
now
out.
in the Commodore world.
So that makes you a what?
I think I'm a listed leaning to a buy it. It's going to be all about the price point because I
Sure, that's fair.
really would love to have a CD32, even though I don't have a single CD32 like physical game. Like Kelly said, feel like I could find them if I wanted to. You could probably burn them as well. So I feel like there is ways to do that. I've played plenty of CD32 games over the past few years. I'm a fan.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, so and I know a lot of our viewers are kind of unmoored or washed in life and need direction. They're saying, I just if I only had direction. So allow me to help out there. Let us know in the comments whether you're interested in one of the many upcoming Commodore options, the CDX32, the I think Amiga 1200, which will be AGA chipset, which will be really great, or simulation of the AGA chipset on FPGA. So that's gonna be coming out full-sized Amiga 500, maybe an Amiga offering down the road from Retro Recipes or Commodore. No, and so let us know if you're a Commodore fan, excited, and if so, which one are you most excited about? If you get done leaving us that comment, jump on over and subscribe to the Bug Panda YouTube channel. Hit that like button. Then take a moment to wander on over to Hard No. It's the world's shortest podcast, published daily. You have no excuse. You do have an excuse not to look at our merchandise, but we'd appreciate it if you would anyway. And to just as a gesture of goodwill, we will give you free ROMs, no license. You're good to use them. Game Boy games, Nintendo NES game, the fantastic basic coding of Mike Belinsky is out there and available. Some online games and an ever-growing number of Doom 2 levels on Boom Panda. So you can kind of check all that stuff out as well. And I think that's enough to keep you busy for a day or two. So you're welcome. Anything you'd like to add, sir?
No, I think that's it. Lots of Commodore stuff and particularly Amiga stuff. So it's good time.
Very cool. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bog Panda.